And what is the deal? What is happening and what is going on with the Raider Rundown fam, man? You are back for another live episode here of the Raider Rundown, man. And today, you already see the title. Y'all know what we got going on, man. We got a very special guest in the building, man. And we are going to be tapping in with some predictions, some scenarios, man. We got the Mostradamus in the building. So it's only right, man. We go ahead and tap in with some of the predictions that he may have, man. So as you see, it's going to be good, bad, or ugly that we feel might go on in the Raiders 2025 season, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get this intro started and let's get the show cracked. What is happening? What is going on, man? What is the deal, man? Like I said, you are back for another episode here of the Raider Rundown. Make sure you guys are tapping on that like button. And you know what I always say, man, tap on the subscribe button if you're feeling what you're hearing, man. For your programming, you already know what time it is. You see what's down here on the ticker. We trying to get to 3K subs, right? Once we do that, we giving away QB1's jersey, man, whatever flavor of choice, as y'all know. So make sure y'all tell a friend to tell another friend. Come join us on the rundown if they're a Raider fan and they want that real talk, man. So without further ado, we ain't gonna waste no time, man. I want to get right into it, straight into it. As y'all see, man, we have a very special guest in the building. Y'all see this man on X, y'all see him on Bleacher Report. And more times than not, man, when I'm seeing him give a prediction or he's talking his stuff, right? It's right most of the time, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's bring on our very special guest to the building, man. The one, the only, man. Mostradamus in the building. What's going on, Big Mo? How you doing?
Everything's good, my guy.
Hey,
You know what it is. I call it Wild on Wednesday over at Bleacher Report Live, but we're gonna try to keep it wild on over here, trying to translate that energy over here with our predictions for the 2025 season.
Oh, 100%, man. You know, I tune in as much as I can over there. And when I do tune in, like I said, you're talking your stuff, man. And more times than not, you are predicting the right thing. Sometimes Raider fans don't like to hear it, but you know, it is what it is. Today is gonna be more of the same. They might not like to hear what we say, but we got to give them the truth regardless, man. You already know how it goes.
That's what it is, man. Objectivity is a lost art in this industry, but the people that do appreciate and rock with us when we do give the good, bad, and ugly, we appreciate y'all.
100%, man. 100%. So without further ado, I just want to get straight into it, man. We're gonna tap in with the chat in a little bit, but I just want to get straight into the talk. So we can start them off easy, you know what I mean? And for today, for all the fans that are tuning in with us today, man, we are going to be doing the good, bad, and ugly. And what that means, Mo is going to be giving us his top 3 to 5, right? Good predictions of the season that he feels something that may go good, man. It could be whatever, coaching, players, whatever the case. Then we'll get bad, right? Bad, you know, don't get too down in the weeds. When we say bad, that might not mean super bad, right? That just means somebody didn't progress the way you thought they did, or whatever the case. It just might be average, right? So there could be that. But the ugly, that's where it starts getting interesting, right? Because we're gonna see what Mo thinks will be ugly, and I definitely want to tap in with that. So without further ado, man, let's go. Let's get into it, bro. So let's start with the good. Let's start with the good. What's your gut telling you? First and foremost, if you want to set up the fans for whatever you're feeling, man. But top 3 to 5 things in the Raiders season that you feel are gonna go good in your opinion.
I'll give 3 just because we haven't hit training camp yet. You know, when the pads come on, that's when we get to know the real. So I'll give 3.
100%.
I'll start off with an easy one. And this is one that you can potentially put your money on responsibly, of course.
Okay.
But Ashton Genty winning Offensive Rookie of the Year should be a near
Oh,
lock. 12 to 1,300 rushing yards, close to maybe 1,500 scrimmage yards. He's going to be the lead running back in that backfield. We already know that. Raheem Mostert didn't move the needle for me. Pete Carroll seems to believe in him, though. But if you look at Raheem Mostert's history, He has a history of injuries, including last year. So he's been known to get banged up. Ashton Genty is going to get a ton of touches. He's going to get a ton of work. And Chip Kelly knows how to design a strong rushing attack. He's done it since he's went back to college. UCLA, Ohio State had Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins last year. Ashton Genty is going to eat. I know people are down him because he's coming from the Mountain West Conference. It is what it is. A good player is a good football player, whether he's coming from an FBS powerhouse, a underrated program, an FCS program. You can find good players anywhere in college, and Ashton Genty is one of those guys. Lock him in for 12 to 1,300 yards and Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, so that's the first one. Now, we'll caveat with this because during the draft time, we're going back and forth. Now I don't particularly remember, but was this your choice? This is one of your choices for the Raiders personally when they were going into the draft process and saying, who we going to draft?
Right. So initially I had Armand Membu and Shedeur Sanders. Still believe Shedeur Sanders could be a pretty good pro, by the way. But
you got to tell it here on this show, man. He was campaigning.
Good thing I got to put that in there. But once I saw Ashton Genty he had the footwear, he had the black shoes with it looked like black and silver.
Yeah.
Footwear, I was like, oh man, I know where this is going. So whether you were on the Ashton Genty wagon for him to go at 6 or not, it is what it is. We're here now with him in the backfield. A lot of people called him potentially a generational player. I would slow down with that one.
Yeah.
Generational has been thrown around, transcended, generational, whatever you want to say.
In this new wave, man, they throw that word around too loose, in my opinion, man. They're way too loose.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever the case may be, wherever you were on Ashton Genty, you can't deny that he was a phenomenal college football player. I believe runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. And as long as the Raiders' offensive line is decent, now I'll get to that in a moment with Brendan Carroll being the offensive line coach. But as long as the offensive line is decent, he can be able to find some room to run and gash some defenses this year.
See, and that was, before we move on to the next one, that was kind of my issue with it. It was never like, okay, can he be as talented? It's more along the lines of saying, well, this offensive line still has question marks on it, right? I think, to me personally, we still going into the training camp not knowing who's starting at guard, really. Like, we still kind of got both sides, to be honest. And I'm even more worried because it seems like they just gave Alex Kappa that right guard spot. It don't even look like they really having him compete for anything. So I'm just like, all right, bro, well, we still don't know what's going on there. So that was my only caveat. They have to play well for this to unfold, though, for him to play Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be somewhat decent. I think I would say 60% of the line, 3/5 of the line, I feel pretty good about. There are 2 spots there we'll get to in a moment that I'm a little sticky on, though.
I'm right with you. It's 3/5. I know exactly which ones we on. But so we go here. So first, good. Ashton Genty wins Rookie of the Year. Man, you get he's gonna be in the running. Lock that in. And if he is, that does spell some good things for the season. At least it's better football. So that's the first one, right? You say you got 3 for us. What's number 2?
The other one is pretty easy as well. Jackson Powers-Johnson being one of the most improved players from year 1 to year 2, his rookie year, his second year. Jackson Powers-Johnson is going to be able to settle in at center, I believe, this year. It seems like all signs are pointing to him being the center. Doesn't seem to be much of a competition there. I love the story he told when he was on Max Crosby's The Rush podcast when Andre James went down last year. And he told the coaching staff, I'm starting at center. I won the Remington Trophy Award. I'm that guy. I'm going to be the starting center. You need that mentality.
Yes.
Your offensive line. Yes. Colton Miller, though he is the older statesman, has been there quite a while. Not very vocal. More of a lead by example guy. Jackson Powers-Johnson seems like the type he's going to get in your face. He's going to tell you what's what. And he could be eventually, in a short term, be the leader of that group.
Yep. And it's always nice to have, a guy like Colton Miller who is steady, reliable in many instances, right? But I that fire, you know what I mean? I would primarily like that to come from my center, if I'm being honest. And the fact that the Raiders have that as the main crux, you would say, of that offensive line for years to come, because to me, he's the future. You already know what time it is. Colton is, I'm not saying he's on his way out, but it's getting, I mean, we're getting there. It's getting to that point. So I completely agree with you. I think he does take that year 2 leap. For me, I may be on the limb, but I said Pro Bowl leap this year for him.
I can see it. I'm not going to push back on that one. I don't think it's out of the realm for him. Remember, he was at one point the best center in college football.
100%.
So, I mean, so why can't he take that leap in his second year now that he's going to be settled into a position? Because remember, last year he played both guard spots and he played center. So he was moving around a bit, and he missed a chunk of OTAs as well. So he missed some valuable practice time as a rookie. So now he's fully healthy. He's in one position. He's already vocal. It's all there for him to take that big leap, that Pro Bowl leap, as you said.
Yeah, and then not even to mention the work that we've seen documented this offseason with Max Crosby. The fact he decides to take that on himself, and there's another player that if you get into it, we'll get into that too. But the fact that the offensive player says, okay, I want to go ahead and work with a defensive player, but I just know he's the at least top 5 in his position. I feel like that's going to rub off tremendously coming on this season, to be honest.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
So we got 2, right? We got JPJ, year 2 leap. We got Ashton Genty, rookie of the year, which, hey, it's spelling very well for my main prediction. I'm gonna wait till your third one, but I've said that the offense is gonna be better than the defense this year. That's been my opinion. So as looking at your predictions right here so far, it's looking good.
So I actually, funny, I did a show on Bleacher Report Live, and I asked, do you have high expectations for the offense or defense? And most of the people, I would say 80% of the people said offense. I was kind of surprised because you do have the continuity on the defense side of the ball with Patrick Graham being there. I know Pete Carroll's influence is going to change things, tweak things a little bit. But I was kind of surprised because the offense is young. But I do like the potential they have several spots. There are going to be some rookies. There are going to be some second year back in big roles. And I think they'll be able to answer the call on that.
And I think, like, for me too, it's the confidence in coaching. So, like, for example, this is the first year really in a while for me that I feel like we can play Kansas City and all these and not be severely outcoached going into the game. You know what I mean? So, like, this time going forward, I actually feel there's a plan, there's a scheme, there's an identity being formed. So now I can kind of, and not saying Patrick Graham doesn't have that, but there are a lot of just tools on this offense that can make it real explosive if things fall into place for me.
Yep. I agree.
Okay. With you on that one. So we got 2, right? We got 2. What's 3, man? Let's hear it.
So let's go to the defensive side of the ball, even though I'm not as high on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay.
And it's one of the Raiders. It's the Raiders' most recent notable pickup, Jermaine Pratt. I think Jermaine Pratt is going to solidify the middle of that defense. Even though there are some parts of the defense that I have major concerns with, Jermaine Pratt is going to have guys lined up in the right spot. He's going to take on a leadership role in that defense, and that's what you need at the middle linebacker spot. He's going to be one of their better defenders. I remember when they signed him, there were people out there who pulled up PFF grades. Oh, but his PFF grade, his coverage PFF grade isn't that great. But mind you, they cried over Robert Spillane going to New England, and Jermaine Pratt had a better coverage PFF grade than Robert Spillane last year.
100%.
Now, I'm not one that bases all my opinions on PFF grades because grades are subjective. It's someone's opinion. I go based on what I've seen. And I've seen Jermaine Pratt solidify that linebacker position for the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a bad defense last year overall, but they changed their defensive coordinator, got rid of Lou Anarumo, made some tweaks there. It wasn't Jermaine Pratt's fault. And I remember doing this during my Bleacher Report Live. Between, I believe, his third and fourth year, or second and third year, he made a major leap, major improvement in coverage. He went from allowing over 100 in passer rating to allowing a below an 85, I believe. So there you have your inside linebacker who's got the leadership skills from Cincinnati. He was a captain on that Cincinnati Bengals defense. He's improved in coverage, and he's healthy. He barely misses any time. I believe he's missed 2 games in the last 3 years. So that's consistent, and he's going to be able to solidify that defense.
I fully agree because I knew he was that missing piece on that linebacker unit. And knowing what he can do, right? And people will look at the PFF and you say whatever it is, right? But if I watch his film, right, which I just recently did, you're like, there's no linebacker on this roster that can do what he can do in coverage right now. Zero. I don't. So now we can hope and we can pray, right, that one of them ends up taking that leap. But at the end of the day, bro, we know right now, as it stands, Jermaine Pratt is better in the things that we are weak at the linebacker unit, which was I was very scared in coverage going into the season if we didn't roll or get him. I was very scared. So my thing though with him is I know sometimes I saw a little bit of lack in the run game, right? That'd be the thing that kind of scares me with him. But to your point, right? Just a few short years ago, you're looking at probably what 2022, I believe he's sitting with 6 pass deflections, and then 2024 you sit with 10. So then at that point, bro, you're seeing a trend of getting your hands on the football, and it's about 3 straight years of 2 or more interceptions. So at that point, you can see the trend and consistency of saying he's getting his hands on the football, he's around it. So I'm 100% with you with this one. I think he can become a key. He just scared me in run defense sometimes. That's it.
Yeah, and the Raiders are going to have to do their job up front of the defensive line to help him out there, and that's what it should be. Your defensive line is obviously the first line of defense against the run, and then your linebackers are supposed to be able to clean that up and supplement. So we'll hope that there's some balance there.
Yes, that's what it is. Now I don't know if the D line is in any of these because they wasn't in the good, so it's probably now we're looking at bad and ugly. So now with that, this is where it could get bad. But before we get into that, man, we had some people in the chat. I want to tap in with them real quick. So if you don't mind, man, we're going to go ahead and tap in with one of our segments, man. We call it. And we call that thing roll call, man. You know, we got to give a shout out to all the Raiders fans in the chat, all the Rundown fam in the chat. So first comment we got, man, from Tyler. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but I don't want to mess it up. I'm just going to say Raiders, man. I'm just going to go ahead and say your comment. I don't want to mess that up at all. My boy Cheeto in the building, man. What's going on, big dog? How you feeling? Yes, sir. He says, oh, yeah, Midtown Mo in the building. Yeah, you already know, man. We had to come with the heavy hitters today, man. We had to come with, it's the off season, not that much to talk about. So we had to come with heavy hitters on the show, man.
You already know.
Cheeto saying the linebacker room. Hey, look, he didn't like Jermaine Pratt at all either. He was like, all right, it's whatever. So if you weren't impressed by the Jermaine Pratt, I can see why you saying this. 100%.
Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. There are going to be some critics and some people who are a bit skeptical because the Bengals defense was terrible last year. It was the reason why they didn't make the playoffs.
Garbage. Yeah. But I mean, hey, they almost make a history this year. They might have the 33rd ranked defense. Who knows? But
they don't have one of their edge.
The way it's looking, it's not good at all. Yeah. Dre for show in the building, man. Salute, big dog. Salute. Bloody Raider in the building. Rundown, thanks for the content as always, man. Hey, thank you for tuning in as always. Appreciate you. Turf in the building. What it do? Salute. John Davis, what up, Mo? What's going on?
John. I know him as John 585, but his he's John Davis here, so I guess we'll call him John Davis.
Hey, and make sure of course, Mo has his regular scheduled programming after this. So if y'all tap in with Mo on the Bleacher Report, it's Bleacher Report, right? After this, yep. Correct. Yep. All right, so yeah, as soon as we get done with that, go ahead and tap in with Mo on his other show as well, man. If you want more of that good Mo content. Raider Trey, man, what's the deal, big dog? What up, Big Trey? How you feeling? Yeah, he says, what's good, Mo? Yeah, my guy DJ, man. Hey, always interacting with him on X and all that, man. What's happening, bro? What's going on? Last but not least, Charm City J in the building, man. What's the deal? Just got to give a shout out to all the people in the family up in here. But as we get it in, right? So we just went through the good, right? Had Raider fans feeling nice and warm inside, right? We got the fuzzies. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, we gave him the fuzzies, you know, Ashton Jeanty, rookie of the year. Ooh, I like that. You know, JPJ, big leap. Oh, yeah, that sounds good to me. But, you know, as we like to do, I always say we can give you the stuff that sound good, or we can give you the stuff that's real, right, at the end of the day. And there is always some good to talk about, but this is where it gets real, right? And this is where we start talking about, all right, well, where can we start looking with realistic eyes instead of Raider goggles and saying, all right, bro, where are we deficient? So Boom. We getting into the bad, right? And the bad can be, all right, this might just average out. This won't be as good as people might think it might be. You know what I mean? And then going from there. So top 3 to 5, man. What you got for us, Mo?
I'll go with Tyree Wilson not breaking out. And I know there's not a lot of high expectation for him, but I feel like Tyree Wilson right now going to be the third edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what you want out of your first round pick from a few years ago. You want, by year 3, you want to see a breakout. Just did a show on him yesterday. And the expectation is if he's not getting close to 10 sacks, you will not be picking up the 5th-year option on his rookie deal. So we're not going to see a Tyree Wilson breakout. Can we see maybe 6.5, 7 sacks? I think that's possible, especially if he gets more snaps on the inside with Christian Wilkins being banged up. We'll talk about that in a moment. Mm-hmm. But if he gets more snaps on the inside, more opportunities where he can show his versatility, can he get 6 to 7 sacks? I think that's a realistic expectation. But if you're looking for that Tyree Wilson breakout in his 3rd year, his 2nd healthy season, it ain't going to happen. Not as a 3rd edge rusher, not with Malcolm Kuntz back in that lineup. Josh Joyner, the undrafted rookie. Also, he could crack the rotation and take some snaps from Tyree Wilson.
Look here, man. If at any point start seeing Josh Joyner, and that's not saying Josh Joyner's not talented, because I actually liked when they picked him up. I was a fan of that. But if he's getting more snaps than Tyree, it's over. You might as well toss that up. Because we're talking about an undrafted rookie who just got here. You know what I mean? Like, and he's getting more snaps. He would show more promise. I struggle with this, man. I struggle with it because at first I was a Tyree defender. Right at first, and I'm not ashamed to say it because you see the foot and you see all that, and you're like, he's here now, and then you can do. So you gotta hope he does something and he progresses, but I don't see any progression, dog. From year 1 to year 2, I saw nothing that made me say, all right, bro, he worked on the technical side of things. I didn't see that.
You also have to let's remember, Kayvon Chason had a better year. Really, than Tyree Wilson and they picked up Kayvon Chason off the scrap heap. Tyree Wilson, Chandler Jones went AWOL, right? Malcolm Kuntz tore his ACL before the season even started. Last year was supposed to be the year that Tyree Wilson was supposed to take control of that starting job opposite Max Crosby. He didn't do that. Kayvon Chason again basically outsnapped him, outplayed him for most of that year, and they picked him up off the scrap heap. So I'm not high on Tyree Wilson right now. Can he make another minimal incremental improvement? He sure can, but it's just not enough to satisfy his draft pedigree, his draft status as a top 7 pick.
Yeah, I mean, then I saw Charles Snowden getting as many snaps last year, and so it's like, okay, that's real ugly. And to your point, man, it's an incremental leap is not enough, right? Because every year, I don't care how many muscles get stacked on each other, dog. I want to know, where are the hands? Where are you working in the offseason to get yourself as a better pass rusher? I think so. Is he going to go down as another one of those Raider draft picks that we're like, God damn, he's going to go in that list, you think, Mo?
Yeah, I think he's headed toward that list, kind of like a notch above Cleve Farrell. A bit where Cleve Farrell was like, you just didn't see the progress enough, and you see where he's at now. He's in Washington. Just wasn't when you draft a player, and this is about Cleve Farrell. When you draft a player in that top 8, a defensive lineman, you're looking for a pass rusher, someone who's going to get to the quarterback. You're not drafting a run stuffer 100%. Or a versatile player who's going to give you a sprinkle here, a sprinkle there in the top 8 pick. You're expecting a pass rusher, whether it's a D tackle, an edge rusher, a versatile player who can play both. You're looking for a sack getter, and that wasn't Cleve Farrell. And to this point, it hasn't been Tyree Wilson. It's all about Tyree Wilson's potential and his body makeup and versatility, not enough production.
Yeah. With Cleve, I don't blame him as much because he shouldn't have been picked there at all. I put that coaching error. But with Tyree, see, this is the thing. I do kind of blame Josh McDaniels. I do kind of say, okay, well, that's a dumb pick. Of course, you had Jalen Carter there. I was saying Christian Gonzalez. You had him there, right? You had certain guys. But, and hearing it, there's a lot of people that sit around like, okay, Tyree is a guy. He's a dude, right? He's this, he's that. how much of it can we? A lot of us are going to blame Josh McDaniels, but I'm gonna put it at this point: how much of it is on player, right? Like how much of it can we say? Maybe he's just not progressing to the point we want him to, because I mean, now you can speculate or not, Mo, but either way, Alex says it here. It seems like a lot of these younger guys have more of that killer instinct on the field. It just don't seem like he's all the way there sometimes, man. I mean, maybe it's just me, and I'm not meaning like IQ or anything, but it's like it seems like you're just thinking too much on the field. It's always a thought process on the field of what it looks like he's trying to do, what move he wants to do. I mean, do you think that it should be coaching error that we should blame this on with Tyree, or is it to the point where we're saying it's just the player is just not the player we need him to be?
He's just not the player we need him to be, because this is not like he's gone through multiple defensive coordinators. Patrick Graham has been there since Tyree was drafted, so you can't blame it on a regime change on that side of the ball.
This
And
is a fact.
you have to make the plays. And as I said, he had a golden opportunity to showcase his full potential last year. There were injuries. There was no Chandler Jones. Caleb Von Chason came on later on. And as someone said in the chat, as I think Alex said in the chat, it just seemed like other guys have way more fire and just way more hungry than Tyree Wilson. He has to show that fire, that passion this year as a third edge rusher.
100%. Hey. I'm trying to figure it out. I've been trying to find it all day, right? And we're gonna move on to the next one. But we just had that pass rush summit, and I ain't see him there, but I saw Josh Joyner there. That scared me. I'm gonna just leave it at that. That scares me, dog. And that tell you a lot. I ain't gonna lie. So we'll move on, right, from Tyree. And I think some people are definitely gonna agree with you. I don't think you'll get any gripe there. With Tyree not having a breakout. People was already ready to get rid of him last year. So at this point, bro, you speaking the gospel. But
now we're never for Tyree.
This is it. So what's our next bad? All right, what else should we be prepared for?
This is bad for now, but the Raiders are being stubborn about this, and they could fix it with one move. Okay, right? The slot cornerback position is bad right now.
Gospel.
What the Raiders are doing right now, they're lining up Jeremy Chin, their best safety, in the slot. So they're taking him out of his natural position, then creating a hole at the safety spot. We'll get to that in a moment. They have Darnay Holmes there, who played 2 seasons under Patrick Graham with the New York Giants. They obviously don't trust Darnay Holmes because they wouldn't have Jeremy Chin playing a ton of snaps in the slot. And if they know that, why don't you just go out and sign Mike Hilton? Just sign Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton, at 31 years old, one of the best slot cornerbacks in the league still. What slot cornerback has had 12 tackles for loss and back-to-back years? This is a 5-slot cornerback getting his nose dirty behind the line of scrimmage and making stops against the run. He is still a free agent. You are moving your safety to slot cornerback when you have one of the best slot cornerbacks still available as a free agent. Bring that man in, Mike Hilton, have him play for Darnay Holmes, and move Jeremy Chin back to his natural position at safety. You can move him around as you wish as a chess piece, but have a primary cornerback there in the slot position. It should be Mike Hilton if you don't trust Darnay Holmes.
Mo, I don't think you understand how many lives and videos I have made talking about this very topic, man. I am sitting going crazy because it's a glaring need. And I've explained to people multiple times, right? Yes, we can bring Chin down in the box, and that helps to some degree. But even me, I'm an Isaiah Palomau fan. I like him, but he's never played center field safety full time like that either, right? So, and I personally think he's better in the box, but that's another conversation. So now, like you're saying, we're moving dudes out of position. We're doing all this and that when the answer's right in front of our face, man. Mike Hilton is perfect. He would be perfect. And you look at the injury history with him, he don't get injured, right? He don't get injured. He's a very good tackler. Like you said, he's a blitzer as well, like how we were using Nate Hobbs before he left. We can do some things with Mike Hilton. So I'm definitely on that. But I want to ask you this, because I've even thrown this caveat out there. If they don't want to do Mike Hilton, what about Justin Simmons? Now, we talked about if they're committed to saying Chin is going to play nickel and linebacker and they're just going to be stubborn, what about then saying, all right, bro, then let's just get a safety that we can trust, that we know can be a good center fielder back there? How would you feel about that combination?
I did a lot recently, and the dream scenario for me would be sign them both. Sign Mike Hilton and Justin Simmons. Get you a proven center fielder, get you a proven slot cornerback. All of a sudden, I feel a lot better about the defense, particularly the secondary. Justin Simmons has had at least 2 interceptions in every year in his career. Mm-hmm. I know he's past the age of 30, but he could still be an effective center fielder. And I think he would bring valuable veteran leadership to that position where you have Isaiah Paul-Maj, you talked about, not an experienced safety. They got Lonnie Johnson Jr., but he came out of Kentucky as a cornerback. He's been a backup for most of his career, 83 games.
Special teamer, really.
So the Raiders need some proven production at that position. I would be all in on bringing in Justin Simmons if he's willing to come to
Ooh, now, if you're telling me that we get both of them, that makes me very confident. That makes me very confident in what I have back there, and to be able to play that, like you said, chess piece, right? So now I can move dudes around and really be versatile like that. So, okay. All right. Do you think it's possible for the signing? You know, you're probably better with the money aspect of it than I am, but as far as what they can get signed for, it's possible for us to go ahead and make that work.
The Raiders have the cap space. I believe they're over $30 million in cap dollars. I mean, the guys that are signing at this point in the offseason, they're not making the big bucks.
Right.
These are $5 to $6 million signings. Jermaine Pratt got a $4.25 million contract, $500K in incentives. And he's going to be their day one starter. So if you're signing at this point in the offseason, you were either injured and you're coming off of a down year, you're going to have to take less, or you're past the age of 30, Mike Hilton, Justin Simmons, and you're probably not going to break the bank. So the Raiders can afford whoever they want to bring in to upgrade that defense.
Oh, yeah. And then knowing that, you know, and so far, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like they are actively looking to upgrade the roster. I mean, with Pete Carroll, you kind of see that in his history, right? He's going to look anywhere he could find under a rock, maybe if he can find somebody that can play football for him and play it at a high level. So I'm with you, man. You speaking gospel to me so far, and this is nothing new for us here on the rundown. But want to give a shout out to my guy Mike Velli in the building. What's happening, man? What's going on?
Guy.
Oh, man, make sure you guys tap in. Yeah, make sure you guys tap in. He got his YouTube up and running, so y'all tap in with the big dog, man. And of course, we do our film breakdowns on Thursdays, man. So tap in with us there tomorrow. It's gonna be a spicy one with the linebackers for sure. We got Alec. He says, "Get Hilton now." I don't know what the holdup is, and I would like to do it before training camp too.
Exactly.
Let me see. Seems like pigs in the building. Salute. Seems like they want to scoop up cut players and may have an eye on some other teams' rosters. Could be.
I like a proactive front office. Why wait and hope that you find someone you like, that hoping that player gets cut? Go out and improve the position now while you can.
Yeah. I'm with that. Because it seems like that's what the Raiders did for so long, right? We just wait. And then there's a free agent that's out there, a veteran, and then we look towards the middle of the season, they helping that team push to the playoffs. We like, God damn, like they said to sign this man the whole time.
Be proactive, not reactive.
There you go. So this is a big one. We should have kept Hobbs. How do you feel about that?
I'll add a caveat to that. We should have kept Hobbs for the right price. If you look at what Hobbs got from the Green Bay Packers, bit of an overpay considering his injury history. Hobbs, while I like him on the field, missed a lot of time, missed quite a bit of time in his years as a Raider. So wasn't as reliable when it came to availability. If Hobbs at the right price, sure, but not for what the Packers gave him.
Oh, no. I was the main leader of that train when it came to if he wants a certain number that is above what maybe we're looking at some averages across the league, it can't happen. It can't happen. Just like you said, I'm a stickler when it comes to those injuries, man. If you're not on the field,
exactly.
And we can, like, again, and I have this, we can go a little bit of tangent, but I have this conversation all the time. I get people mad when I talk about Ja'Cory Bennett because I'm not immediately like he's a top 5 corner in the league or he's going to be a top 5 corner because I'm like, well, he ain't finished the season in 2 years. So it's like, how can I be confident in that? I just got to be confident. We just had that thing with Hobbs, so it's something that's coming to a head. We have to pay attention to it.
And we'll get to the secondary in a moment. I'll tell you that in a moment.
I might have just preview some. See, look, hey, might have just preview some. And shout out my guy Cheeto and Mike, because I be going at them consistently when it comes to Jacorian. So shout out my guys, man. One man's trash. Yeah, basically. So we got that. We got two out the way, right? So slot corner being trash, and we need to be proactive to get that, but it can be fixed, right? It can be fixed. No Tyree breakout, which I think people will agree with you on that one. Not a lot of confidence in that either. But what would be the third one?
Guard position. Now, this is kind of a wait and see, but right now, as you said, it's kind of it seems like Alex Kappa has the right guard position locked down. Dylan Parham has played both guard positions. May not have the strength to be a full-time guard. We'll see. He's going into a crucial year. He is battling with Jordan Meredith and Theo Mumford Jr. for that left guard spot. Caleb Rogers, they did draft in the third round. He seems to be coming along as the backup behind Alex Kappa. But the guard positions concern me a bit. Those are the guard is not obviously people don't watch football for the offensive line play, but the guard position is going to be key to monitor for the Raiders at training camp because one, as you said, there aren't two surefire starters at that spot or at those spots. And then you got to remember, as great as Ashton Jeanty is, all running backs need the help of their offensive line, right? We like what we see out of Jackson Powers Johnson, but if your guard positions are weak, you're going to have some down weeks when it comes to the run game. Ashton Jeanty is not going to have space to run if defenders are in his lap once he touches the football. So I'm looking at that guard position, little concern there because Dylan Parham has been, you could say, an average guard, maybe. Alex Kappa had a bad year last year in Cincinnati. He's looking for a rebound year, but he's familiar with John Spytek because they drafted him in Tampa Bay. You know, can he get that rebound year? Is Jordan Meredith the better option? He's been around the Raiders roster on and off the active roster and practice squad. We'll see what goes on there, but the guard position has to be good. The thing, too, is, let's keep in mind, Brendan Carroll is the offensive line coach.
Right.
An extensive resume coming from the collegiate ranks. I know he was a co-offensive line coach in Seattle, but that was Tom Cable's offensive line when he was there under Pete Carroll. Now it's Brendan Carroll's offensive line. Can he bolster that resume? Can he prove that he's a pro-level offensive line coach? Because I say this year in and year out. Your offensive line is the engine of your offense. If you have a poor offensive line, it's going to be tough for your offense to rack up yards and touchdowns and scores. If you have an average offensive line, it could take a Pro Bowl level player down to an average player, an all-pro player down to a average player. So looking at that guard position, though, it's not the sexy position. Those two battles at those guard spots going to be key for the Raiders offense.
Yeah. You know, I've come to learn, right, when you speak about the running back, the average fan tends to forget that it's a very, very, very dependent position. A very dependent position. I mean, if your 5 guys in the front are trash, you can have – there's only one running back that I know that can have 5 trash O-linemen and still do what he did. And he played in Detroit and wore number 20. That's it. That's the only running back that I know. Maybe Bo Jackson, maybe. But Barry Sanders is the only one that I've ever seen that can have trash O-linemen, and it doesn't matter. But damn near every Hall of Fame back will tell you the same thing, bro. My offensive line. I need my offensive line. And Jeanty, that generational talk, and this is not a shot or anything, but it will dwindle real quick if that guard and offensive line positions aren't where it's supposed to be, because we're not going to see what makes him special. What makes him special is getting in the open field and that contact balance not being brought down, right? And being a force of nature damn near in the open field. You're not going to be able to see that if he's bottled up in the backfield, like Mo said.
See, the problem is when you, like you said, when we talk the run game, the first topic of discussion is, well, who's the running back? Oh, he's trash. Oh, he's averaging less than 4 yards per carry. But you don't look at the supporting parts around that running back. What type of offensive line does he have? Who's the offensive line coach designing these plays? Now, of course, some of that goes to Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator.
Which I like that. I do like that.
I like that too. But your offensive line coach is key to developing some of those young players. DJ Glaze at right tackle. He's going to need development. He's going to
Yes,
need development.
yes,
If people are high on DJ Glaze, I got a lot of people saying I'm a DJ Glaze hater. All I was saying is when you allow over 50 pressures as a rookie, I can't say that you're going to automatically just be a breakout player your second year. And that's been the case with DJ Glaze last year. So
right.
he allowed a ton of pressures last year, but we get it. First year, third round pick. I understand. I'm not throwing him away yet. But what I'm saying
Right.
is he's going to need some development, as well as Dylan Parham. Even though he's going into a contract year, still a young player, still needs development.
And can I be real with you, Mo? Here on the rundown, man, I didn't gave up that dream right there, man. I'm already ready to ship that off. And to be honest with you, because this is my thing, okay? And this is where I have a problem with that. We're talking about development in year 4, right? And of course, like we're always developing, yes, but we're on year 4, damn near position 4, Mo. We playing guard, right guard, left guard. We came in as a center from college at Memphis, right? So where are we gonna stick? That's my question. Where at this point now, we should have already seen like, okay, this is where he is, right? Now, if he has to move to another position because of injury, so be it, right? We know he's versatile, whatever the case. But as of right now, I can't say Dylan Parham has gave me any type of confidence to say he's for a surefire left guard or he's a surefire right guard. And if something happens, okay, we can do it, but I know for sure I'm throwing him there. And that's my problem with it because it's year 4. Like we should know this already.
We absolutely should, and that's why I say I don't think he has the strength and power to play that position consistently. I think his issue is very similar to Andre James' issue at center, where
right.
he get pushed around a bit. Now, as you said, he was lean coming out of Memphis, even as an offensive lineman. He had a background as a tight end. So where does he stick? Does he, first of all, does he win the job? Because he's looking at, if he wins the job and plays well, he can get a pretty good pay raise on the free agent market next year. If he doesn't win the job, he's a backup, and then his career goes who knows where. But he's got to beat out Jordan Meredith and Thayer Munford Jr. Thayer Munford Jr. has experience. He's played 4 positions since Ohio State. Played every position except center. So we'll see if he can handle someone who has the collegiate starts that Thayer Munford had coming out of Ohio State and the versatility. If he wins that job, we'll see. But he's gonna. I know you hate to hear it going into year 4, but he's gonna need that development from all that staff.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part, you know. But what's funny is I say that about Parham, but then even with Thayer kind of having the same type of dilemma where it's like we on year 4 or whatever, and you didn't bounced around, him going to guard, I actually like better. I like better than him playing tackle. If by all accounts, from what I've seen, he won first team Big Ten at Ohio State as a guard, right? So looking at it, I like his body frame a little bit better, right? If you were talking about putting him on the inside, because now look how big the interior gets if Thayer is there with JPJ. It gets a lot bigger, and then you got him next to Colton too. That's a big old line. My thing with him is he can't stay healthy. That's my problem with Thayer. And if you're going to be a starter, dog, we're going to be right in the same predicament again with Parham playing right there because you can't stay healthy. That's going to be my problem.
That's exactly why DJ Glaze was able to slip into that starting right tackle spot. If you remember last offseason, I believe Thayer Munford had a hand injury. Both hands. I think he injured both hands last offseason. I don't know what was going on there, but part of the reason he lost that job is because he couldn't stay healthy.
And see, that's the problem right there, man. That's the problem. So we got our last segment, man. We got our last one. And this one right here is the spicy, right? This is the spicy. The ugly. All right. And the ugly is going to be things that you damn near have no confidence in. You think that this is something that you got to prepare the fans for because you think this is going to be bad going into this year. So go ahead. The top 3, man. What you got for us?
I hate to say it, but I think the Raiders secondary is going to get torched several weeks. We talking about I like Darian Porter. He was in my final mock draft for the Raiders. I predicted that the Raiders would take him in the 3rd round. He's
same. I like him. I like him.
But he had 1 full year as a starter at Iowa State. And right now it's Darian Porter and Eric Stokes on the boundary. Now, Ja'Cory Bennett can still work his way back. He's practicing with the second team defense because he's coming off of a shoulder injury, torn labrum. I get it. He could still be able to start. But as you said, didn't even finish the year last year because of that injury. So you're looking at the cornerback position, you're thinking, who's your surefire CB1 in that group? McCameron Richardson going to his second year. He fits the Pete Carroll mold, but not a lot of experience. And right now he's playing with the second team. As I said, you're already moving your best safety out of his position into the slot. There are moving parts. There's inexperience there. I hate to say it, look at who the Raiders are going to play this year. Just look at the NFC East.
Forget
right? Just forget the Giants. But Jalen Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. The Washington Commanders, Jay Daniels just won 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year. Believe me, Terry McLaurin is going to get paid. Debo Samuel is working hard to show people he's not a slouch. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott is going to be healthy, we think. They got CeeDee Lamb and now George
Pickens.
Yep. Jalen Tolbert is a solid wide receiver 3. They got Jake Ferguson, who's a Pro Bowl tight end. They're going to play some offenses who can put up points through the air, and I don't think they have the secondary to keep pace with some of those passing attacks.
Man, another gospel you preaching, man. And real quick, Mike and Vet, you want to talk about barbecue chicken, right? you brought up DCAM. That's definitely right there. It was cooking that day. Let's talk about barbecue chicken. But real talk though. This is the thing I've been saying for a while, right? With Darian Porter, I like him, right? I do like him. Now I personally think that this coaching staff wants him to be CB1. I don't know if he is right now, but I personally think they want him to be. I mean, you just drafted him 3rd round. He got every tool in the book that your head coach likes. To me, they're saying like I would primarily or preferably want him to be that guy. Well, we gotta wait. We have to see. And he's going against Stephon Diggs. We got goddamn Terry McLaurin. Like first 5 weeks are gauntlets, damn near for him if he is CB1. Eric Stokes had an okay year with the Packers last year. And funny enough, it was his first full healthy year. So we walk into that and saying, all right, well, what do we get there? But we know if he can play and he can progress, he is the type of mold that Pete does like to work with, right? He likes to work with that. And by all accounts, he's in a better defense for his skill set. So that could be there. The thing that I look at, it's Ja'Cory Bennett, right? That's the X factor, to be honest, right now as it stands. Because what does he do? My thing is, why is he not starting now? Is my thing. Like, you know what I mean? Why is he not already slotted? And some people are like, okay, well, it's the shoulder. It's the shoulder. Number one, we didn't know nothing about that shoulder before he said something about that. So that's one. So now all of a sudden everybody want to throw that out there. But then number two, the shoulder don't have nothing to do with nothing right now. I mean, they're not doing anything that's physical, to be honest. This is all footwork and mental reps pretty much in the shorts and shirts. So I've been saying for a while, it's a little concerning to me that he's not starting right now. Now, training camp could go in, but I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Little bit of concern there because I'll say this, there's still time for him to get that starting role. And the scary thing about this is he may be their best cornerback. Even with the half resume he had last year, he may be their best cornerback. And that's the scary part about this cornerback group is, again, you have the inexperience there. You don't know what you're getting out of Darian Porter, though I like him. Eric Stokes, 2 okay years since he's been in league in 2021, maybe. Yeah. The Cam Richardson, is he ready? They're going to have either A, they're going to have to bring in someone before training camp, during training camp, before week 1, or before the trade deadline. The Raiders are going to be searching for cornerback help with this group. Mark my words.
Yeah. And I was pushing for Jalen Ramsey. I wanted Jalen Ramsey back. It might have been a pipe dream, whatever the case, but he would have brought instant credibility and veteran leadership to a locker room and secondary that kind of needs that. So I'm with you. Woodson needs to unretire.
He'd be their best defensive back right now. Outside of championship, maybe still.
Hey, man, bro. At this point, bro, I don't think CDM got to do more, bro. You might have to take a shot of that Woodson whiskey to get him to go out there at this point. Right now. I ain't gonna lie. But we go to the secondary, barbecue chicken. Okay, that could be the first ugly, and I hope you're wrong. I do, because if you're not, like you said, we gonna get some offenses, dog. They're gonna flambe us. I ain't gonna lie if we're not ready. So What would be what's the second ugly? What we got for the second?
I think when we look at, if you pull up whatever site you use for contracts over the cab or spot rack, when you pull up Christian Wilkins' contract, you're gonna want to vomit. Because
Mm.
I'm having serious doubts that Christian Wilkins is either going to play this year, and if he does play this
Woo.
year, he may not even play half the amount of snaps you think he's going to play. When a 300 plus pounder, when a big man gets a foot injury, it is hard to shake that off, especially when you're around that 30-year age. I know for the regular average citizen, 30 isn't old, but in football years,
That's old.
with a foot injury,
That's old. That's old.
that's problematic. When you
Yep.
look at that contract, they gave him 110 million in free agency not too long ago. He has played 5 football games for the Raiders,
Woo.
and as of right now, we don't know when he's coming back. He was supposed to be Max Crosby's inside-out tag team partner when it comes to rushing the passer. He got hurt celebrating, hurt his foot, Jones fracture, and no sign of him at OTAs. He was there present, but he wasn't participating in any physical activity. Now, again, the Raiders are reportedly saying he's going to be fine for training camp, but I have my doubts. Even if he's there at training camp, what is his conditioning going to be once he gets?
Oh my gospel, you speaking again, man. Gospel, you speaking again. I've said it multiple times because everybody want to rush him back. And it irks me when I hear, well, he's a veteran. He'll be fine. He don't need training camp. How much does he need? Okay. All right. You throw him out there cold if you want to. All right. And then at that point, there's going to be a whole lot of angry Raider fans in his inbox. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Because he's not ready. He's not ready. He didn't have no conditioning, no chance to get the physicality right with his pads because he plays a position that requires that, right? And at the end of the day, like you said, this man's 300 plus pounds. You're telling this man that the injury really affects how you push off your foot to just rush out there. Dog, do you understand this man could literally destroy the foot? Pretty much like if he goes out there too soon, bro, he could destroy his foot. And I've said it, okay? I've already said it. You let me know how you feel. If he needs surgery and they think he does, shut him down, bro. Shut him down. Shut him down. I don't even want him playing, dog, at this point because you got to save face and make the money look better than it is at this point. I mean, how would you feel if he don't play and they shut him down?
At this point, if you're just delaying the inevitable by not shutting him down, you might as well do it now. Get it and done over with. Get it out of the 100%. Way. Just 100%. Get it out of the way so he can start his recovery process. Because the way that his contract is set up right now, the Raiders would still be holding a ton of dead cap money if they let him go. So I know a lot of fans will say, "Oh, just cut him and move on." It's just not feasible with dead cap money because the way the contract is constructed, it really can't get out of his deal after the 2026 season if
right
to recoup a decent amount of money in cap dollars. So you're gonna have to ride that out for at least another 2 years. If he has to have surgery, just send him off and get that surgery.
That's what I've been saying the whole time. So we got our last but not least, man. Our last ugly of the evening, man. What you got for us, man?
The ugly of the evening. I'll wrap it up with an overall projection on the Raiders season. I think the Raiders are gonna go 7-10, and I say that's ugly because there are a lot of fans out there calling up my shows, Silver and Black Today podcast and Bleacher Report Live, saying, "Mo, the Raiders are going to win 10, 11 football games." The Raiders will be improved going from a 4-win team to a 7-win team, in my opinion. Yeah,
that's important.
But I don't see them as a playoff team. A lot of people saying, how are we going to end up 4th place in the division? Well, first of all, you were 6 games behind 3rd place last year, so you were a distant 4th. So not only to get out of 4th place, not only do you have to improve, but one of those teams has to take a backslide and regress. I don't think 7-10 is that bad for the Raiders. I know it's not a winning record. I know that's not a playoff team, but a lot of fans are looking at that as a terrible look. But going from 4 wins to 7 wins is a decent amount of improvement for a team that couldn't score 21 points on a consistent basis to get off the field on defense. So I'll take a 7-10 win season, but a lot of fans will look at that as that's ugly because they're not getting to 500.
I had us winning 8, and they attacked me too. So at the end of the day, bro, I'm right with you. I'm right with you, dog. Because at this point, 8 games or 7 games is definitely progression. From 4, like yeah, bro, we were damn near unwatchable last year. So, I mean, I know people see it every year where you see the from worst to first, and it's all like that, but it usually don't work like that most of the time, bro. Most of the times you got to have a steady progression and see that build over time.
Exactly. Because I know a lot of people want to bring up, oh, look at the Houston Texans, look at the Washington Commanders, look at what those teams did. Brought in CJ Stroud, who won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels was spectacular. As good as I thought Jaden Daniels was going to be, I didn't see that what he did last year.
Yeah.
And so you have to look at, and also look at the division those teams play in. The AFC South has been one of the worst divisions in recent years. The NFC East wasn't good last year. Dak Prescott missed half the season. He was out. The Dallas Cowboys were under 500. The Giants are still trash. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, of course, but other than that, where was the competition at division? The Raiders arguably play in the toughest division in football outside maybe the NFC North.
Yeah.
They're competing against 3 teams that won at least 10 games last year and were all playoff teams. So it starts from the division. They were 0-6 in the division last year. So they have a tough hill to climb out there in the AFC West, whether you want to admit it or not. But I think they will be improved. It's just a matter of having perspective. How much do they improve? And I think 3 wins, improving your win total by about 75%, I would take that considering what they were last year.
I mean, that does what it needs you to do, right? I mean, you build on that, which is what most of us are saying, that we need foundation. We need something to build on. So I'm 100% with you. But I already know, man, you got to get ready to go to your other show, man. But just before you go, you want to tell everybody that may not be familiar with your other show, man, where they can find you right after this one?
Bleacher Report lives Monday through Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Monday through Wednesday, I have on the red topics I talk about. A lot of stuff you talk about here with your crew. But I like to keep it fun. Now that we're going to the summer, not a lot going on. So we talk about fun topics like how you became a Raider fan, your best Raider moments, top 5 Raider QBs all time, top 5 Raider edge rushers of all time. We do it all on Bleacher Report with me as the host. I'm over on Silver and Black Today podcast with my co-host Scott Branson every Thursday. That drops on Spotify. Also, Sports Night, I'm writing over there specifically for the Raiders. I drop one piece there every week, usually Wednesday or Thursday, over at Bleacher Report. In addition to the lives, I'm also a writer there covering the entire league. So if you want to talk about fantasy football, betting, I have you covered league-wide over there at Bleacher Report.
Man, so y'all heard him, man. If y'all want to go ahead and tap in with Mo, go over to Bleacher Report. If you want real Raider talk, right? Go over to my man. You already know what time it is, bro. But hey, I really appreciate you joining us here on the rundown, man. Thank you so much, bro.
No doubt, it's a pressure, man. As I said before we got on, this is a long overdue show for us, between us. We had this in the works for quite some time, but I'm all over the place. My apologies on that one, but it was a pleasure having me, man.
Man, I know how it goes, man. We will definitely do this again once, the stars align for sure. But I definitely appreciate you once again, man. Make sure y'all tap in with the guy, man. Hey, that was our guy Mo in the building, man. Appreciate it, man. Hey, appreciate everybody for tapping in. That was a fire show, man. That was a fire one. That was a fire one. My man had to go ahead and get ready for his other show. But as y'all see, man, that's the good, bad, and ugly predictions from Mostradamus, right? As we seen. But Mo out here flexing, wearing a hoodie, blasting that AC in this heat wave. Hey, yeah, y'all already know what it is, bro. Appreciate everybody, man. I'm trying to provide the good content as it's the downtime here in the off season. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through the chat a little bit before we get on out of here, man. Show some love. You already know how it is. And then we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up with a nice little bow. But let's see what we got here, man. I saw my guy Isaiah in the building. Appreciate you for being here. But I saw this comment. Still don't know why we haven't signed Mike Hilton, but I didn't know he was on Nightcap the other day. If he was on Nightcap, I definitely got to go watch that, bro. So definitely appreciate you for tapping us in with that one. Jack Jones has talents, but his emotions need to be kept in check. Me personally, I would have liked to see if maybe he could have played slot, but then this is the thing. He can't really tackle like that. So, Jack was on Nightcap. Okay, I saw it. But yeah. He can't really tackle like that. So putting him as slot probably wouldn't be good, bro. Probably wouldn't be good. I'm still going to tap in, though. Still going to tap in, see what's going on. Question. What about this notion that can slide Tyree in at DT and he will thrive and solve that problem? I think it's over with, Cheeto. I think it's a wrap, bro. I don't think we're getting anything out of Tyree per se. I think, just like Mo said while he was here, it's a wrap, done. It's done for. We're not going to see that leap that we're looking for. And if we don't see that leap, then that means we're pretty much waiting for that contract ink to run dry. You already know what time it is with that. Appreciate it. Hey, man, Big Dog with the $5 holla, man. Appreciate you. Said Rundown bringing the heat content during the downtime. Yes, sir. Hey, we got some more for you next week. I got a video releasing, man, for the members soon. I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. Rundown gonna be taking a little vacation in a little bit, much needed. Hey, you feel me? Rundown be on this motherfucker 24/7. So I definitely need a vacation, and that's coming up soon. So I'm gonna let y'all know when that's going down. You feel what I'm saying? So y'all know when I'll be back, when I'm gonna be releasing shows, doing all that extra. But we're gonna get ready to end this thing on out. We appreciate everybody for tapping in as y'all always do. And before we do end this thing out, y'all know we got to get you through with the programming, right? So tomorrow, we got our show with our dog Machiavelli, right? We got our show with our dog Machiavelli, and he and I are going to be tapping in with the last piece of the linebacker core, right? Last piece of the linebacker core. We're going to be tapping in with Cody Lindenberg, and I believe Eichenberg. And we got another little special highlight tape that we're going to be watching tomorrow as well. A little special request. So we're going to be tapping in with that tomorrow. It's going to be real, real dope. So make sure y'all tap in with us. We're live as well. Usually it's recorded episodes, but we live tomorrow. So y'all know what it is. 6:00 Pacific time, 9:00 Eastern. And another part of the programming, no Good Morning Raiders this week, right? There will be no Good Morning Raiders this week. Saturdays, we usually have our Good Morning Raiders show with Jay, but this week we're taking the 4th off. You already know what it is. Enjoy with the fam, but we will be back the following week because we got Violator on. So y'all already know what it is, bringing y'all that fire content as usual as we do. So tomorrow we got Blunts and Breakdowns. Might do a little live on Friday. Who knows, man? Might just tap in with the TRS fellas, man. Maybe do some TRS related on Friday just to get some content out. But till then, man, you already know what it is. Make sure you guys are tapping on all them like buttons. Tap on the subscribe button if you're feeling what you're hearing, if you're liking the content, right? And you see it down below, man. Follow your boy on all the social medias. And we're trying to get to that 3K. Geno Smith jersey giveaway, as y'all know, man. So whatever flavor y'all like, we got it with the Geno Smith jersey. Go ahead and stock you up with QB1 jersey at the cost of a subscription, right? As y'all know. So until then, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. You know what we always say when we end the stream out, man. We keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground here on the Raider Rundown. Tap in with you tomorrow. Till then, be safe.